You're listening to the SClubBeat with Dale and Katey.
Hello, and welcome back to the SClubBeat. I'm Dale.
And I'm Katey.
And today we are here for the last episode of our EP7 series with none other than
JESS.
JESS. So if y'all didn't get it from the last two episodes, we absolutely love JESS. JESS is amazing. Everybody go follow JESS at it's JESS, because it is JESS. But anyway, so Katey, this is our last episode of season 1.
I know.
It's
Went
so
by
crazy.
fast.
So fast. And we have so far to go. Like, I keep picturing where the podcast goes from here, and it's just daunting. But then I think, like, is it, when it ends, like, are we going to have anything left to talk about? Like,
there's plenty to talk about. Plenty of guests. Maybe
guests.
We'll get the S-Clubbers one day.
It's our goal.
Hello, friend.
Hi, Jess. Welcome back to the SClubBeat for our third episode of Revisiting Miami.
Woohoo!
I'm glad
Are you sick of us yet? It's been, what, 2 hours? 2.5 hours?
It's been 3 hours.
It's fun. It's fun reminiscing about these episodes because I grew up with no one really watching S Club. So it's like, it's fun to revisit them with people who like actually are like, you know, big fans and stuff. So it's fun. I like it.
Yeah.
You can mock it and people get the references. That's what my favorite thing is.
Yeah. Like, it's been a real delight. We are going to jump straight into it, and we're going to go into the Court in the Act episode. So, fun fact, this episode aired on June 10th of 1999, which is also the release week for Bring It All Back. So it is the week that it was released. And it is also the song they perform in this episode. Isn't that crazy?
That was intentional. I'm sure it was
very
I thought you
intentional.
were going to say it was your birthday, but I think your birthday's the 6th.
My birthday is the 6th,
right?
yes. So, yes. My birthday is June 6th. So they released the Bring It All Back on June 7th. This episode aired on June 10th, right during midweeks. So that extra push to get it to number 1, because it was already a popular TV show for the children's, and now this song is available in the UK charts. So this episode begins with the S Club girls not being able to figure out how to turn off their alarm clock, and Tina just flushes the alarm clock, and the alarm clock stops.
I gotta interrupt right away.
Uh-huh.
We didn't get that in the U.S.
I
don't remember that.
We didn't.
That's a specific scene I remember that we did not get in the U.S.
And we could have lived without it, but then we found out it existed.
Yeah.
You know, like, I get it. I get why they cut certain stuff.
Well, I'm going to talk about this a little bit more in the next episode. But remember this alarm clock. Because remember, in this episode, she ruins it. In the next episode, it's not ruined anymore.
It's there. It's there.
It's there and still utilized. So I guess in the U.S.,
it
does
make sense.
in the
90s were built tough.
I mean, no, but it dies in the toilet, Katey. It's very dead.
Well, they
anyway,
took it out of the sewer.
So during all this, the girls discover that it's time to wake up, and that it's not time to wake up yet because it's still dark outside. And do you want to know why it's dark outside, Katey?
Because Howard's bum is in front of the window.
Who
put the bum here?
Who put the bum here? Howard got more than a life-size statue of himself, and it is a nude statue. And there's a little leaf covering his front privates. So that's lovely. So the INS are coming to do an audit of the hotel's employees, but it's okay because Howard has a pre-existing deal with the INS officer to just bribe him, as one does, Katey. You just bribe official officers.
Howard's already shady. Like, come on.
So shady. So during this time, you know, the band received their daily assignments, and Joe and Rachel are tasked with icon maintenance, which is, you know, polishing Howard's statue. And Rachel is supervising, and Joe, in her very brassy way, says, "Why aren't you up here helping me?" And then Rachel starts exfoliating him with a nail file. because being a statue is no reason for bad skin. No reason.
Yeah, and Joe's also got the sassiness of, are your heels permanently attached? Do you want them to be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Icons.
She's a vicious, violent.
So the INS officer comes to inspect the hotel, but it's not the same agent that Howard has the pre-existing deal to just pay him off. So in this, like, Howard is shocked, and then the agent mentions that Tina has an accent, but it's just because Tina went to a boarding school, but she's actually an American national from Beckham County, Oklahoma, where she has...
Yeehaw!
Where she was a horse riding person. Does Beckham County, Oklahoma actually exist? Beckham County.
Sounds random.
It does exist in Oklahoma, so they did fact check this.
No, I was saying you have on here horse riding, and she was cattle. It wasn't horse riding. Is there a difference
between cattle and horse?
Cattle is cows, isn't it?
I don't know.
Pretty sure cattle is...
It doesn't matter. It's not important to the story, Katey. Because she does...
Continue.
It doesn't matter. So during this time, the band attempt to dismantle the statue. Like, they're doing, like, chainsaws and hammers and just, like, all 6 of them. Because Tina's out being a waitress, so that's why there's only 6 of them. And then Marvin arrives and gives Howard, or just gives the INS person money. He starts stuffing it in his pockets because the briefcase fell. And the money just fell everywhere. And Marvin just picks it up and sticks them in the pocket. And, like, it's fine. Just take it, put it in your pocket, just walk away. Don't worry about that. All of their employees are illegals. But Howard tells the band that they have to pretend to be American to try to fool the INS person. And then Tina gives the band a rundown on how to be American, including a lot of, insults, including saying that Americans called Hanson talented.
I love that one.
It's just very random. I don't have an opinion on Hanson. Do y'all have an opinion on Hanson?
They are talented.
Yeah.
All right. So Tina gives the band a rundown on how to be an American, and S Club then take over duties of the hotel. So Rachel and Bradley are hired as the electrician. Bradley's fake name for the INS person is Billy Bob, and Rachel's fake name for the INS person is Billy Joel Sue.
Where did they pull these names from?
Well, it's Bradley pulling them out of his butt.
I mean, we have to remember Marvin's wife, and then these are basically the same names they use in Boyfriends and Birthdays. So they just have a lot of harmful country stereotypes for us Americans as UK TV show pilot writers, or I guess TV show writers. Jo is hired as a waitress, and Hannah and Paul are chefs in the kitchen making pizzas, despite the fact that the people just ordered hamburgers.
Yeah.
So
no, they ordered chili cheese dogs.
Chili cheese. I think one of them ordered a hamburger too, and then Joe just walks in and said they ordered
chili cheese dogs. One with the extra order chili, one with the extra order cheese. Cheese fries with a dog with extra chili. Chili fries with a dog with extra cheese, and 2 milkshakes, chocolate milkshakes, extra thick.
Whoa.
I like 2 chili cheese dogs, one with an extra order of chili, one with an extra order of cheese. Cheese fries with the dog with the extra chili. Chili fries with the dog with the extra cheese. Oh, and 2 milkshakes, extra thick. Good choice.
And then she comes back and says 2 cardiac ward tickets for table 9.
That is impressive.
That is impressive, Katey, because I couldn't. I started typing all that all down, but I was like, no, I'm not.
Yeah,
but why do I need to? In case
one of the many things that I have memorized. It's just
okay.
Yeah.
So, needless to say, that was impressive, Katey. I'm going to give you that.
Yes, but and then Paul and Hannah make pizzas. I never even thought of that though.
Yeah,
maybe it's a previous order.
They're terrible. But also, anyway, not important. Needless to say, this sham of S Club pretending to be Americans does not work, and S Club end up in immigration court. So S Club are tasked. So John addresses the court, and he says that S Club are guilty of innocence. which I think is hilarious because next time I'm arrested, I've never been arrested, but next time I am arrested, I am going to say that I am guilty of being innocent because it's funny. So S Club,
it's a good one.
S Club are tasked with proving that they're a band, and then Tina has the magical idea to just perform. And then they're like, well, how should we prove that we're a band? And then they're like, we could do a press conference. And then Tina's like, why don't we just perform? Because
there happens to be a cassette player there. Not a CD player. Cassette player.
Well, they probably, because they have Howard's car, remember? With the cassette.
Yeah.
But again, the blue Chevy is never mentioned again, so we don't know whatever happened to it. A lot of things are never mentioned again. We haven't seen Clint lately. Clint's just gone. Anyway, so S Club perform Bring It All Back, which, as we discussed in the previous episode, was actually released the week that this aired in the UK. So, Bring It All Back. Go stream it when you're done with this episode. Howard is fined $5,000. And then Howard is forced to sell his terrible statue for $5,000. So long as it is delivered to the person's house in perfect condition, it will be sold for $5,000. And because, if you recall earlier in the episode, S Club were trying to dismantle it, Howard puts his hand on it, and the whole statue just falls right down, Katey. Just falls right down.
Mm-hmm.
And Howard doesn't get $5,000 anymore. Huh, okay. Do y'all have
does Howard go to jail
else?
then because he didn't get the $5,000?
Again, it's a continuity. We never hear about the $5,000 again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The episode just
and one
falls
thing
apart.
I always
This is
laugh
where it
about
ends.
on this episode, when they're performing in the courtroom, there's an extra that she's got. I believe she has a leopard shirt on and really long curly hair. But I laugh at her every time. She is going to town dancing in the background.
Oh yeah.
So dramatic dancing. You need to go back and watch, but she just cracks me up every time.
Katey, did you want to go through the next episode, Bermuda Triangle, with us? There's a lot of cool facts in this one.
So, S Club are tasked with working on a Sunday, and they go to Howard, and they want the rest of the day off because they're overworked. And Howard gives it to him. They're like, what is going on? They also ask to take his boat, and he says yes. They take advantage of it and go on the boat.
Why was Howard sad, Katey?
Because he was lovesick.
And what was the boat's name?
Catherine.
What a beautiful name. I know a
Yeah.
Catherine. She's lovely. Do you know a Catherine, Katey?
Yeah. I do know multiple Catherines. But yes, I know the Catherine you're referring to.
I know one Catherine.
They run into Howard as they're getting on the boat. And he tells them that it's the anniversary of the day that Catherine broke Howard's heart. Never gotten over it. So we see them all laying on the boat. And you think they're having a great time until the camera zooms out and realizes that the boat's still on the dock because they can't figure out how to get it started. Is he a fisherman, I'm guessing?
He has a big yellow hat.
Yeah.
I assume he's a fisherman.
That qualifies.
He says that you don't want to go out because the winds and tides are turning. They got to be aware of the Bermuda Triangle. Of course, just as he finishes that, Joe saves the day and wasn't it Joe?
Yeah, it was Joe.
That part I don't remember. Yeah. Joe turns on the boat. Joe starts the boat because she wasn't paying attention to any of the conversation happening. So they take off, and the fisherman's like, beware the mist. When they wake up, they are in 70s garments. So, nice afro hair, and you see Joe with long hair.
All the frills.
Beautiful
Yep.
sight.
Yeah, everybody apparently liked perms in the 70s. I wouldn't know.
I wasn't born yet.
Nope. We were 80 babies. So they get back to the Florida Paradise Hotel. And they realize it looks different. And they're throwing a party. They walk in and they realize they've gone back in time. Which will not be the first time they go back in time. Because we get back to the 50s. In
So
a few
good.
episodes later.
Love that one.
Yeah. So they should be used to that by now. So they find Howard and Marvin, which they look exactly the same. Or not look, they act exactly the same. They see Catherine, and they decide that they could probably fix it.
Fix
Catherine
the future.
and Dale. Yeah.
Yeah, change your
you're not supposed to
circumstance.
do. Yeah.
Change their
Never
circumstance.
change the future.
I also want to interject here that Howard and Marvin's parents are Howard and Marvin, and Howard is in drag, and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's absolutely hilarious.
And you can tell who gets their Howard
Personality
acts
from
like
their
his
parents.
mom, and Marvin acts like his dad. Like, shocker.
Beautiful.
They decide to try to change the future and make Howard happy. Of course, Bradley has to ruin it and flirt with Catherine. So now
As one
Catherine
does.
wants Bradley instead of Howard. So dude needs to get it under control.
He needs to stop being so lady hungry.
Yeah. So meanwhile, John runs into a young Madonna, which she hasn't recorded any music yet, and he's referencing all of her music, which is how I know some of her songs sometimes. John meets Madonna, Tina meets Elvis Presley, and of course they're going to perform a song. So they perform Dancing Queen,
What song is it, Katey?
which was Dancing Queen.
Oh,
Which is
What?
a cover.
is it, Jess?
What?
Is it a cover?
Yep.
Oh.
It is not an original S Club song.
It's not?
Shocker.
Jess?
No. Can you believe that?
Jess, that doesn't seem correct. Because at the beginning of the when S Club arrived in the 70s, it said class of 1975, Jess, which means that the kids had just graduated high school, meaning that it would have been May or June of 1975. Dancing Queen was originally performed and released by ABBA in August of 1976, meaning that S Club are the original performers of the song in the S Club multiverse. Did y'all know that?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, so
I wonder
ABBA,
if the writer also didn't know that.
well, I don't know, but that's a continuity issue because, or maybe it's meant to be like that. And ABBA covered Madonna, or ABBA covered S Club. Sorry, I'm still looking at Madonna.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's about a year's gap between the S Club performance in 1975 and the ABBA release in August of 76. So
Wowzers.
yeah. Now y'all know that S Club is the original performer of the terrible song known as Dancing Queen, available on the ABBA Mania
Terrible?
soundtrack. The S Club
It is a
version
great
is terrible,
song.
Jess. It's a terrible song by S Club.
I wouldn't say terrible.
It's
They've had-
nothing
not in my-
special.
It's not
They
in
have
my
more
top
songs. It's
100
just-
songs. And S Club don't even have 100 songs.
Is it? Okay,
So-
I'm going to tell you right now, it's better than Gangsta Love.
Okay, we are not going there, Jess. That is blasphemous.
We're gonna have to have
That's
her
a whole
back
other-
for the
that's a
album,
whole
and you
other-
two are just gonna
that's a whole
fight.
other-
Absolutely not. Jess is
Hold on.
officially canceled from any future episodes. We cannot have this. She is canceled. She is banned
All
from
right,
the
cut that out.
Discord as of this moment. Anyway.
All right, sorry. We derailed. Yeah.
I'm going to go
Okay.
ahead and sulk.
Okay. So back to the episode. Bradley and Catherine meet again. And she wants to be with him, and he wants to be with her, even though he says he can't, and he wishes he could. And they kiss. Because he can't
No.
keep it together.
No.
So Catherine ends up breaking up with Howard. What?
I'm just over here mad about Jess's comment about gangsta love.
Oh, okay. He's still
Just
there.
repeating the conversation in your head and just saying like, no. No.
Yeah. So do we think that Howard, being Bradley, was the reason originally? Like, is this a time loop?
Yeah.
That
I think that's the
he's
reason
always
why,
been the reason?
Because Catherine knows that there's better out there in Bradley.
Mm.
Like, he's always been the reason.
Can you imagine
So-
if Howard would have seen that, though? Like, seen that it was him, and then put two and two together when they came back?
Yeah.
I could not.
Yeah.
I could not.
That'd be weird. I've watched too much, like, Charmed and time traveling stuff. Now I'm like, Time travel.
S Club time travel all the time, so it's nothing new.
And they always fall in love. Every time they fall in love. They finally decide to get back home because the sun is setting. Even though when they get back home, the sun is... No time has passed. They're still on the... It's still sunny. They wake up and think it was all a dream. So they try to check the camera, and the camera's blank. But then Hannah still has her shoes on. So they realize that it was real. And then they think about if anything actually changed. And they see Howard, who's still grumpy, decide it has not changed. The end.
I think it's amazing that S Club are the original creators, writers, and performers of Dancing Queen.
They just pulled the song out, had the dance ready and everything.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Jess, did you want to go through the How Deep Is Your Love episode for me?
Yeah, this is a good one because I actually have, I actually went to like one of the locations that they filmed in this episode. So it's a good one for me to like, I guess, talk about. It starts off with an alarm clock. So we have discussed about this alarm clock that was flushed down the toilet by Tina. Well, it comes back. And it is working. It is a working alarm clock. And it goes off, like, I guess, like to wake up the girls. And Rachel's the first one to like get out of bed and run to the bathroom to use it so she doesn't have to like wait. Smart queen. And inside the room or the bathroom, she encounters a roach that Hannah had previously seen the day before. So they're like all freaked out, right? They're all spoofed, as one should be if they see a roach. And they run into wanting to use the boys' bathroom. And then it turns out that they also have a roach in their bathroom. So there's clearly like a sanitary thing going on at this hotel. It is just the worst.
I would not stay there.
Absolutely not.
I would not do that.
Like, but they have no choice, right? Like they're dirt poor and they're there on visas. They have to like just like get through it. So they go to Howard and tell him like, hey, like
they still only got that $180 that one time.
How are they making it last? It is insane.
They already bought the car. They bought the car. They don't have any of it left.
Yeah, like where are they going to spend their money with this car? The map is not.
How are they paying for gas?
But, so the band go to Howard and they're super fed up about all these roaches and like just like how unsanitary the hotel is. And it turns out that the Department of Health comes to the hotel and they completely, they see what's happening and they shut the hotel down, which means that S Club cannot stay at the hotel for like the time being. So he ends up sending the band off to like an annual retreat for the staff. And it ends up being at the Seaquarium Dolphin Cove, which recently the Seaquarium had been like, there's been a lot of like animal cruelty violations and cases. So in March of this year, the state of Florida ordered that it be closed. And it's true. I went like maybe 5 years ago to do like swim with the dolphins and stuff. And it was like not looking great. So it tracks. So yeah, the band end up at the Miami Aquarium and Tina, Hannah, and Paul learn about dolphins. And it's also like a very Florida thing for them to incorporate like dolphins and like the water into the Miami 7 episodes. But Paul ends up talking to the dolphin trainer, Janine, who then asks Paul out on a date. And
who looks like twice his age.
Oh,
yeah, she looks at least 40.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 54. While those group members are with the dolphins, Joe and Rachel are at a modeling shoot at the beach where Bradley's with them. And Rachel, being, the stunning queen that she is approached by a photographer who offers to take some test shots. So that's very realistic. I mean, come on. It's like Rachel.
She's gorge.
And gorge. I mean, you have two massive Rachel fans on this podcast. We're going to talk her up anytime she comes up. That is our queen. And so Paul ends up going on this date with Janine and he brags about it. And he offered to help her collect dolphin urine.
Disgusting.
Very specific. Very specific. I did not realize that until I read it. And flashback or fast forward, or not even fast forward, just like completely different location in Miami. Rachel introduces herself as Grisabella to the girl Paul is dating. Wait, what?
Yeah, she says, "Hi, I'm Grisabella."
Yeah, I don't like. Why?
I literally just watched it. I literally just watched it yesterday.
Yeah.
She very much says it.
She does not say Rachel.
Yeah. I've never met a Grisabella in my life or heard of a Grisabella.
Yeah.
And then Bradley, being like the ladies' man, he like downplays Paul's girlfriend, and it kind of causes like a little bit of a rift for Paul and he admits to like hooking up with her the night before. So now there's a bit of drama.
He's a bit like, to put that in there, like they always talk about, you know, the band being so tight, and not talk about like, I don't know, the episodes, you know, the bands are close and tight, and to have him like totally like kiss his friend's girlfriend, like that's just totally wrong and goes against the bro code and everything. Like,
yeah,
I don't think he knows. Code.
Well, Paul overhears him.
Sure, he knows. Oh, okay.
I think Paul overhears Bradley talking about it, but like either way, like the whole like the act of it all, right?
Yeah, he seems so nonchalant. He's like, you know, that she's not into him because I just made out with her last night. Like, just I'll chill. It's like, no, Bradley, no, like that's not cool.
That's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Bro code.
So there's a bit of a rift
bro
right
code.
there.
It
doesn't exist in the S Club universe. Bro codes.
Apparently.
They don't exist. And then Joe and Bradley are helping Rachel prepare for her modeling shoot that's happening at the same time. And then, fun fact, actually. So during this scene, the song Viva La Radio by Lolly is playing. And Rachel was the original selection for Lolly, but opted to be in the band instead, which is really interesting. This was a tidbit found in her book, Finding My Voice, which is available now. It's released. Recently released. We're always going to plug Rachel's stuff. Come on. Get in line. And then, like, to add to, like, you know, the rift that's happening between Bradley and Paul, and now there's, like, a rift between Paul and Tina, because she warns him about Janine kissing other people, and Paul just kind of like takes offense to it, about how like Tina's possibly like jealous and stuff. So things are starting to brew, and not in a good way. And back at the modeling scene, Rachel shows up to her shoot in a dress, and she thinks it's going to be like a fabulous like photo shoot. And it turns out that the photographer only wanted her for like her hand, really, like to be a hand model, because to quote, her hands are just so much better than the rest of her.
Could you imagine someone saying that to Rachel Stevens?
I wouldn't dare.
I
would
am
like pass away.
offended. I would have taken the wrench and like thrown, like she only dropped it on his foot. I would have thrown it in his face. Like, how dare you disparage Rachel Lauren Stevens?
Agree, bestie. Agree. But actually, hand models actually get paid pretty well. Fun fact. That's not
but Rachel's not that type of model. She needs the face, the hair.
She's the real deal.
Insert a picture from Rachel's modeling days with her weird eyebrows.
Like a collage of photos of Rachel.
But to be fair, okay, what she shows up in, why would she think that's acceptable for a beach photo shoot?
Yeah, that is kind of godly. But it was cute. It was cute. Like a little feather boa.
Like a boa and white gloves and like what?
It's a bit much, but
yeah, for a beach.
I mean, the show in itself is a bit too much.
But we love it.
In all the best ways.
Clearly. Yeah. So Janine, you know, Paul's like girlfriend, is out dancing and kissing another man, and Tina, you know, she confronts her, which I like. And
being
Janine
a good older sister.
Yeah, like protecting, like, you know, standing up for her friends and stuff. And she
very territorial.
Janine admits to like studying Paul, and quote all the men she dates. So there's something going on about this lady. And Tina stands up for Paul, which is like really great, and she's just like very territorial about it.
Bestie behavior.
100%. Like we
And
want
keep in mind that
someone like Tina.
Paul and Tina are arguing right now.
Yep.
And she's still doing it.
This is the first time you really see like members arguing.
Mm-hmm.
Like in LA7,
it was a lot. It was a lot like when Paul threw that chair. Like he was mad.
He was mad.
Like you don't see that much.
And then Rachel delivers the iconic line, which is,
relationships are like Porsches. They're very easy to get into, but very hard to get out of without losing your dignity.
Iconic. What a great line reading.
Relationships are like Porsches. They're easy to get into, but really hard to get out of without losing your dignity.
You said that just like her.
Agree.
That was the point.
Agree.
That was the point. Except I don't have the beautiful posh British accent. But just imagine it, y'all.
We're imagining. And then Chip and Paul practice swimming with the dolphins. And the dolphin brings Paul to Janine, who's making out with Carl. This guy. This dolphin is also like trying to start like a war because that dolphin knows what he's doing by like bringing Paul over there.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a lot of tea being spilled in this episode. It's very messy. It's a very messy episode in that sense. There's just a lot happening.
That dolphin is shady. Shady.
He knew what he was doing. And Paul advises that he tells her like, hey, like I'm a master of the martial art of playing the spoons, whatever that means. I don't know. Do you guys know what that means?
No.
Another thing, an exclamation point. I don't know what that means. Hold on, let me Google it.
This is something else that's said in the show, like throughout the show. That's just like, what are they even going on about? Like, what does that even mean? I don't know if it's a British saying or like where they pulled this from. But either way, we don't understand it. We don't get it.
It's an Irish thing.
Is it?
Apparently.
The martial art of playing
Google.
the spoon?
I mean, but it's just playing an instrument. It's not like some Taekwondo thing, but it's just an instrument that you play.
Well,
I don't know.
I did not know that.
I love his other lines where he said something about kick your butt from here to Poughkeepsie.
Oh yeah, he does say something like that.
And then I bet you don't even know where Poughkeepsie is.
I don't, but I know a lot of things get kicked there.
Iconic.
Yeah.
Iconic Paul behavior. And the dolphin throws water at Paul. And like I said, shady. Like, what is that dolphin like up to? Like, what is he doing? And then Carl, as they are starting to fight, he falls into the water. Womp womp. And I think it just continues. And they end up performing Hope for the Future. It's like a little montage. They're like on the little like wooden platform, I guess.
Boardwalk.
And that's a cute song. No, it's like I wouldn't say it's I don't know, it's like a platform. But yeah, they perform Hope for the Future, which is like a cute song.
They actually performed that in the middle of the episode.
Yeah, they did.
When they're swimming with the dolphins.
Yeah. But it's a cute song to like for the episode. Like it's a good song to like put in the episode.
They're hoping for the future of like the band because of all of the like discord, like all of the arguing. Like they're just hoping for the future. I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Katey. In our album review, we said that this song was forgettable.
Did we?
It's much better than Gangster Love.
You know what, Jess? We're just gonna move on to this last episode reprise. We're gonna hope because we're not going through this again. We're not going through it again, Jess. Gotta have a real life one too.
And Paul discourse is happening right now between me and Dale. Like, no, like you're in the wrong. Like, you're in the wrong. Both of you guys are in the wrong.
There will be no gangsta love. Disparage.
Don't pull me into it.
You're right.
There
You
will
didn't
be
say a
no
word.
gangster. Okay, anyway, we're going to go right into the final episode, Reprise. Or Reprise? Reprise? It's Reprise. So this episode specifically takes place on June 30th, which we're filming on June 23rd. So we are so close to the end of S Club's Miami episode. So S Club have come to their end of time in Miami. And this episode is full of flashbacks from all of the episodes, and they just have all of these things. So Howard and Marvin look over the books and see that they're finally breaking even for the first time in years. And they realize that people are coming to the hotel just to see S Club, which is what Jess did after this began airing. And before she realized that Gangsta Love was an iconic song. But S Club rent a limo on Howard's credit card, and they randomly perform Gonna Change the World. And this song does not fit the episode. It's kind of weird. And during this performance, and I put this on the Discord yesterday, join now at join.sclub.org. But there is a random, very short clip of the rapper Ice-T in the episode. He's just hanging out at a restaurant/bar thing. And it's just so random. For anyone who doesn't know, Ice-T is a 1980s rapper. And he's most famous in my generation for being in Law & Order SVU as Finn. But Jess and I are like 95% sure it is Ice-T.
Said it was him too.
I mean, I don't remember having, like, me and Jess specifically had like a long, in-depth text conversation about it long before the Discord. So if Katey also agrees, everybody. Katey also agrees.
Thank you.
But
Don't
Howard
leave me out. I have FOMO.
So Howard contacts S Club's manager in England in efforts to keep S Club beyond their contract date in Miami. The contract is noted that as of June 30th, 1999, all previous contracts are null and void, which is a very clever and very legal way to get out of contracts, if y'all didn't know. So
now we know.
Some of us want to go to law school and know that this is valid and it would hold up in court in the act. So during this time, S Club arrived at a very swanky hotel where they were refused entry, Katey. They were refused entry because I guess they're just too common clothes.
Who was in charge of this hotel?
Trash people, obviously. But it's okay because Jill Ward, once again, played by Kathy Dennis, who once again wrote a lot of S Club songs, tells the bouncer that it's okay that they're with her. And they join Jill Ward / Kathy Dennis for lunch. Why is she still in Florida?
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah, and to interrupt, it's that hotel used to be like a pretty swanky hotel. It used to be called the Tide Hotel. So it makes sense that like there's kind of like a dress code, or like people are like, you know, not just anyone can like walk into that hotel. It's like you have to be like kind of not necessarily someone, but you have to be like staying at the premise or something like that. It's a nice hotel. Or was.
Yeah,
nice
and like
hotel.
Rachel's just in like one of her regular like sports bras. Like, we haven't discussed the fashion on the show, but like during this time they had a lot of sports bras. It's a thing.
Yeah, it was the fashion of the time.
So during the lunch, they once again reminisce about their time in Miami to include how they got there, and they reiterate how their time in Miami has not changed the trajectory of their career, and they're still in the same place than they were then when they were in England. Like, nothing's changed. They still aren't booking gigs. No one knows who they are. But I mean, in contrast, like Howard and Marvin see that, you know, people are coming for them. Like there's an audience for them. So S Club are back at the hotel, and Howard tries to negotiate with the band to keep them in Miami and calls them by their first names for the first time in the entire 13 episodes. So he learns their names, and they're no longer vocab kid or other kid or kid. They're just Joe, John, Bradley, Tina, Rachel, Hannah, Joe. I think I forgot someone. I don't know.
You forgot
There's just
Paul.
so many of them. Paul. Forgot about Paul. Howard offers to represent them as their manager and basically knows, you know, your old contract's void. It's done. It's over with. But the band refuses, saying, why would we want you to represent us because you're a terrible person. And like they list all of the terrible attributes about Howard, and he's like saying, thank you so much for noticing, and this is very noble of you to say this about me. And there's like, you suck.
He's like,
and
why
he's
thank
yeah,
you?
I do. And
Why
he's just
thank
taking it
you?
all in stride. I think more people should be like that when people are reading them for filth. Be like, thank you so much for observing that. We should just take this life lesson
It's
from
called
Howard.
Right.
sarcasm.
I'm going to incorporate that, actually. It's good.
Going forward. So S Club tell Howard that they're going back to England, and this is something weird. They're going back to England, but they take the car to the airport. So if they're going back to England, what are they just going to do? Leave the car at the airport? Like this is like that's a nice car. You don't just leave that car at the airport, y'all. It doesn't make sense. Make it make sense, Katey. What are we doing with the car?
I never even thought about that.
Yeah. Continuity issues. Katey. Anyway.
I want to know, they've been staying there for 3 months,
Uh-huh.
and all of 7 of their luggage fits in that trunk.
Very valid.
I'm surprised it's 7
Especially-
luggages.
Yeah.
Well, remember in the first episode, Rachel has like a carriage of luggage. So where did it all go?
Yeah. Where'd all that stuff go? Yeah.
Continuity issues, Katey. Continuity issues. Anyway.
Yeah.
So S Club leave the hotel. They say their goodbyes to Howard and Marvin, who are very sad that they're leaving. I would also be sad if S Club left me, like they did in 2003. But we don't have to talk about that. The band is driving, and they come to a fork on the road, and they can travel left to the airport for 3 miles, or they can travel right to LA for 2,453 miles. But fun fact, Jess, the shortest driving distance between LA and Miami is actually 2,731 miles and would take 48 hours and 17 minutes to complete.
It seems very short.
Does it?
But that's with no sleep.
Yeah, that's driving continuously.
But they
Right.
do
But
have
there's 7
7
of
people,
them.
so I mean,
Yeah,
Right.
You could take turns. But Rachel turns to the right and goes towards LA, and Rachel singularly makes this decision because Joe's like, which way are we going to go? And then Rachel's just like, and then turns the wheel and they go right to LA. And this is my Mandela moment because I know we've talked about that a couple of times on the podcast. I remember Rain playing during this scene.
What?
Yeah,
Wow.
because
unless, okay, I think I know why.
why?
because-
Katie, tell me.
Because in Viva S Club, they do, on the last episode, they reminisce, and they are playing Rain during it. And they
It's
play that
possible.
scene. Yeah.
Maybe, but I swear, I don't know. But they apparently play "You're My Number." Well, not apparently. They do play "You're My Number One" in the scene, and that is the end of our Miami 7 recap. But Katey, if
What?
you pull out your Miami 7 scrapbook, which I have right here, and we stroll to the page which recaps all of the episodes. Okay, so we're on page 13, Katey.
Okay.
And the
So I want
bot-
to say
you're on page-
something while we're
What?
on the final episode.
Okay.
I still remember the promo for it, and it was so dramatic that it said, which way they're going to go, and it says 3, 2, 1, and then when the brake lights go off, that's when the promo ends.
And
so you don't
we'll
know,
never
like,
know
where
from-
they're going.
We'll never know. We have to watch to find out.
But
Katie.
that promo was like so dramatic and like, what are they going to do?
Yeah,
That's-
as most promos were.
Okay.
But are you on
So
page
what are we
13,
looking at?
Katie?
Yes, I am.
In the bottom right-hand corner under the Reprise episode, what does it say? S Club sing
Nobody does it better.
and
That's not a song.
exactly,
That we
Katie.
know.
So in the Miami 7 scrapbook, it says that S Club perform Nobody Does It Better and Gonna Change the World. So in my entire time in the S Club fandom, that song title has been floating around. And I'm like, where does that come from? Did the fans just pull? Because there's also a bunch of other song titles that we don't know where they come from, like A Million Love Songs. Like there's just these S Club songs and there's no method to where they came from. But Nobody Does It Better apparently does exist. And according to some online searches, it's an early version for I'll Be There, which is on the 7 album. So
But where would it even be featured in the episode?
we don't know. It's possible that it was recorded and then just left out of the final episode, because that song kind of fits better in this episode than Gonna Change the World, because Gonna Change the World just doesn't fit. But I'll Be There for You, as they're going through the memories of Miami 7, it fits.
If that is in fact I'll Be There, they should have had that song in Alien Hunter. Because it's a Tina episode, so might as well let Tina sing.
We'll never know, Katey. We will never know.
Yeah.
But this...
It also just says Chevy instead of Blue Chevy.
It does?
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't.
Episode
I guess
3,
I didn't look
it just
that
says
far at
Chevy.
it. So many continuity issues.
Mm-hmm.
Wind Resistance Man from EMI. But yeah, so y'all pay attention to the little things, and they even have a copy of like Joe's letter down here.
Yeah.
So I'll put it in the episode description, a link to the S Club, the World of S Club gallery, where you can look at scans of this book for the fans who don't have it. So, do y'all have any final thoughts on Miami 7 before we close out our last episode of this reprise of the Miami 7 fandom that we were recording for the past like 17 hours?
Yeah,
so
it's fun.
Do y'all have any final comments on Miami 7 before we close it out?
How would you rank it? We already ranked.
We're gonna do that, Katey?
We ranked. Yes. Because we ranked the S Club, and we had to keep our ranking for the other 4. We can't change it. So if we compare the shows, how are we ranking it?
Katey, that's a very tough question.
No, it's not tough for me. I got it.
So I'm teetering. But Jess, do you have a number where you would put it?
In relation to the other ones, or like on its own?
No, relation to the others. Like, how would you rank the 4?
1
Where
to
are you
4.
putting Miami?
I would rank Miami 7 in the number 2 spot.
Me too.
So for me, it's gonna have to be 3rd or 4th. So I'm gonna go with 4th.
Whoa.
Yeah.
No, I think I'm gonna go with 3rd.
Okay.
So
your final decision?
Katey, I don't know. Is it? Like, I'm doing it in my head, and I know which one is first.
Yeah.
But I just cannot decide between 3 and 4. I'm gonna say 4th. Final answer. It ranks 4th.
All right.
And that's gonna be controversial, and I'm probably canceled.
Jeez.
I am probably gonna be canceled. I'm sorry to Alfie Wise and Paul Lewis if they're listening to this, because I know they're very proud of Miami 7. But the number of inconsistencies, like, I will explain my answer. The number of inconsistencies in this season is just far too much for me. At least in the later seasons, everything's a little more thought out and a little more smooth in terms of how it's presented. But I think due to the timing restraints that they had for Miami, it's not as seamless as it could be. But the humor is amazing. Everything's amazing. I'm not saying it's a bad, show. It's just, I feel like the other ones are better.
I had a blast.
It was so much fun. Thank you so much for joining us, Jess. We love you so much. We cannot wait to have you back for LA7.
Yeah. It was fun chatting.
Love to do this. I love everything that happened in this episode. Except for learning that Jess doesn't like gangsta love, but we can talk about that.
He's not going to let that go.
You know what? Like,
what part of it? Is it the pineapple playing all night that does it for you, Jess?
The whole Oh my god, I blocked that out, actually. I'm like, pineapple. I blocked that out. Just the whole thing, even the title of the song. It's atrocious. Like, what? I'm honestly like, I could never be in a band because I would be like, absolutely not. Like, I'm not singing this. I'm not doing this. Like, I'm putting my foot down. I could never be in a band.
Our queen fronted that song, Jess.
Listen, she has her moments that I just kind of look the other way. This is
it
one of
Blue
them.
Afternoon? Does Blue Afternoon do that for you?
Yeah.
Fair. But I do not agree on Gangsta Love.
Hey, it's Jess. It's been a blast for me, Katey, and Dale to revisit S Club in Miami with you. You can follow Dale at World of S Club on all social media platforms, and you can follow Katey over at Katey_Carmen on Instagram and Twitter. And you can follow the podcast at the SClubBeat. If you'd like to chat with us, you can join our Discord at join.sclub.org. We'll love to hear from you. The podcast will be back where Dale and Katey and another special guest will kick off season 2 with Reach. See you soon.
You're listening to the S Club Beat with Dale and Katey.